Welcome back to Parents versus Gaming. My name is James III. This is the second episode of 2023 for us. Again, I'm joined by the beautiful Kia Kane 0801. Kia, how are you?
Yes, I'm doing good. How are you?
You know, living the dream, doing the best that I can. You're live over there on your Twitch channel, right?
Yes.
You want to tell everyone where they can find you if they're watching the recording or listening to this audio later?
Yes, you can find me on Twitch at Kia Kane 0801, which is KILLAKANE 0801.
Killa Kane.
It's Killa Kane.
Killa Kane. But Kia is actually your first name shortened, I believe, right?
Yes, it is. Kia is actually my first name shortened, and yes, it is spelled exactly like it is on my Twitch.
It's also about 22 letters long. Your full name.
It's actually 23. But, who's counting?
It's like almost all the letters in the alphabet. You were like, they were just like, what can we make a name out of all these letters? But listen, we're excited to be back. We're excited to be here. Kia, I'm excited to have you here as always. Now, you've got your chat going on, and today's topic, they're going to hopefully be able to jump in, give us some ideas. But today, we're going to talk about something that a lot of kids or parents struggle with. And we might do the reverse order later. We might have a different episode in the future where we talk about, on the parent side, how would they introduce their kids. But today, we're going to talk about if you were a kid, maybe between ages 10 and 17. So we have a couple different games we can probably jump through. What game would you recommend the kids to play and show their parents to try maybe get their parents a little bit more interested in video games or understand that they can be fun and that they really enjoy them?
Yeah. Okay, well, one of my biggest ones is going to be Minecraft. I'm not going for the easy way out. It's one of the better games that you can do with your child. I mean, your child can, and what better way, your child's sitting there teaching you how to play a game. I mean, come on, that's going to feed into them. That's going to make them feel happier and better because they can actually teach their parent how to do something. Minecraft, once you kind of get the basics down, is actually fairly simple. And it's very addicting. I did not think it was going to be addicting.
And we're going to show a little bit of gameplay too. So if you're listening audio, you could jump over and check it out on YouTube as Kia talks about this. We'll show a little bit of gameplay of Minecraft, what's going on. So you want to break this down, explain why a parent might like it?
I think what it is like, it's an easier game to start off with. And wait, what? Oh, okay. So one of the parents in my channel, Adzi, who is also one of my moderators, his son actually got him to play Minecraft. Now, if you have a troll for a child, like Adzi does, they will probably get you killed.
But they think, at the end of the day, they think it's hilarious. So,
They do. They think it's funny. They laugh about it. They think it's absolutely hilarious. But basically, Minecraft is a survival game. And you build things. You craft things. It's all different types of things. You learn how to make food. You learn how to make your own armor. And all your different equipment that you need. And your child can walk you through all of that. Which will also help, like, with, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I mean, you think about that, your kid being really happy that they can actually do something and show their parent something instead of their parent teaching them. You know what I mean? Like, that to them is a big deal. So I do feel like Minecraft is one of the better games to start off with if the child's trying to get their parent into gaming with them. That would be a good way to start them off. It's a survival game. They can play together. They can create a world together that is just theirs. And every world is different when you create it too. So it's really neat, the different spawn locations you can get, and all the different little things that, just all the different little things, because there's so many different biomes, which are, like this one here is more of like, I would say it looks like a grassy area, but there's a forest out in the, you can see that there's a forest, but it's not the jungle area. There's a jungle area that has jungle trees. Which it looks like that horse, the person who's riding a horse was going towards. Yeah, actually they are close to a jungle biome, so it's really cool. There's several different trees, there's several different animals. It's amazing, and they have a bamboo area. You'll be able to find pandas.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
they've
in
got
the
a lot of
amount
stuff. It's just this open
so many.
sandbox, right? And what you're seeing
Yes.
if you're watching this and you're a parent, like, I still don't get it. You know why my kid likes this. This mountain that this guy's riding this horse on, you could tear that entire thing down.
Yep.
And what I think is cool, especially kids, what they learn, and you'll learn this as a parent, is you start out with basically nothing. You try to build a little, house, and then you build a little box, and and the more stuff you craft and create, the more stuff you unlock, and you could start with a basic wood house. Next thing you know, you've got a stone house. Next thing you know, they're coloring everything, but they've got to find different materials, and whether they use a stove or a furnace or they craft something together on their crafting table, like everything they do, they basically have to build, which I think is what's really, really cool.
Creepers, man, the bane of any builder's existence.
Yeah, the creepers are great. When I first started playing this game, those creepers, what you just saw there on screen, are these green monsters, and they go off like TNT, and the closer that they get to you, they explode. What's crazy, did you know this, Kia, that the creepers are an accident?
Were they really?
They were a coding mistake. I believe it's when they were trying to make either the skeletons or the mummies, something went wrong.
Oh, wow.
And they messed it up, and that's what came out, and they just decided to leave it in the game.
I mean, why not? It's a good mob.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pain in the ass, but
and you can play on total creativity mode where you don't have the survival mechanics.
Yes,
you can change the setup however you want.
Yeah, you can put it in creative. So like if you're just wanting to like kind of like learn the basics without having to deal with the mobs or worrying about them, like the creepers blowing you up or the zombies sitting there and attacking you or the skeletons shooting you with arrows. You can put it in creative. That allows you to kind of do whatever you want. You have access to everything automatically, like instantly you have access to everything. So a lot of times in Minecraft, you actually have to find things and come up with to find these recipes, like to make things. So in creative mode, you actually have full access to that, and you don't have to worry about trying to find this new recipe or whatever. Now, I will say that if you or your child is an achievement junkie, more than likely will not want the creative mode because you don't get achievements when you're in creative mode.
Yeah.
Because they consider that a cheat. So yeah.
But
if you're just wanting to like mess around.
Yeah, a lot of kids will use it to test things.
Yes.
What they want to do. They'll try something, and then they go, okay, these are the materials I need to do this, so now I got to go out in the world and find it.
Yes. So it is a good way to figure out what you like, what you want to do, and what materials you need, so you know where and how to go find them. So
for me, I'm going to jump over and try to make this a little easier and a little bit parent friendly. Of course, Minecraft is super great. You can play it on basically anything now at this point, right? Your phone, your tablets, PC, both consoles. I believe it's still on PlayStation and Xbox. So it's also on the Switch, Nintendo. So it is pretty much super accessible. The other thing I like about Minecraft is they're opening up all different types of avenues. They've got Minecraft Dungeons, which is like a Diablo clone. Then they've got a new one getting ready to come out, Minecraft Legends, which I think is like a StarCraft style game. So now you take that same world, and especially for a kid trying to introduce their parents, you got your parent interested in that, and now you can introduce them slowly into maybe some other games you like, but using the Minecraft world. And of course, that would work in reverse order for parents to get their kids involved as well. But that's what I really like, how Minecraft is expanding that IP to be more than just their sandbox game that they've had for quite a long time at this point.
Yeah.
So for me, Kia, I am going to introduce everyone to the newest Lego game, Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. So the newest game that just came out. You can see you've got Qui-Gon Jinn following Jar Jar Binks around. So this is probably the Phantom Menace episode, but it's got every episode of Star Wars in this game. It's also available on Game Pass. What's really, really great here is that for parents that aren't interested in video games, maybe they're big Star Wars junkies, they're going to feel like they're playing in the game, but with the Lego humor. And the game is very, very easy to pick up and play. You can play co-op just like you can in Minecraft, so it's not taking turns. You can play with your kids and you can play together. But to be able to hop around this entire Star Wars universe, especially a lot of parents that maybe they're huge, like I said, they're huge Star Wars fans, but they never really got into the video game side of things. Not only is there Star Wars, but you've got, whether it's Harry Potter, or you've got Pirates of the Caribbean, or just basic Star Wars stuff. There's all kinds of Star Wars games out there. They're really, really good. But this just happens to be the newest one, so it's more likely someone, I think, that would be playing it right now, they could get their parents interested into it. What do you think, Kia, about the Star Wars Legos?
Yeah, I think it would be a good way to get into it, especially if they're big Star Wars fans. Like I know my dad is. Granted, my dad is already a gamer. I gamed with him as a child, so that doesn't really count. But I do believe it would be really good for someone who is big on Star Wars. This would be a good way for the kid to get their parent into it, especially if they're really big into Star Wars. But even if they're not, if there's other things that they're into, Lego, there's so many different Lego games out there that you can probably find one.
Yeah,
Of
absolutely.
whatever. So yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there that are Harry Potter fans. There's a bunch of Harry Potter Lego games out there now. So it's definitely, definitely Lego games are definitely one of the ones that you could definitely get parents into. I feel like would be easy.
Yeah, and again, it's just like Minecraft. It's very accessible to play. I think it's simple buttons, a lot of on-screen things, and the cutscenes, of course, that the Lego games have added as the games have gotten better and better over the years. I think are super cute. They take things that you recognize from the movie and then kind of add their own little cute spin to it, and it allows kids to feel like they're a part of that Star Wars universe as well.
Yeah. As he was saying, like there's DC, there's Marvel, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, like there's a bunch of Lego games out there. So if you're not big into Star Wars or Harry Potter, you like DC. There's a lot of DC
Yeah,
Lego games out there.
DC Lego games, Batman and
There's
stuff.
Marvel Lego games out there as well. I know one of the big ones that came out that was, I guess, more of a recent one, but not like super recent was, I think it was like Super Villains of
Yeah,
DC.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
It's a really cool one, and you get to create your own villain. You get to create your own villain, give it its own superpowers, its own name, everything, and then you can actually choose if you want to make a full-on villain or if you actually want to side with the superheroes towards the end. So you actually, kind of create your own little character, and it's really cool. I thought that was really neat. I never expected that. But yeah, I recently got that one, or not recently, but I got that one when it came out for my son, and he just loves it because, well, he loves villains. He's a villain at heart, I guess. I mean, we're talking about a kid that has loved Darth Vader since he was like 2.
So,
So,
yeah, definitely, it's a lot of, like you said, it's super interactive with all the different characters and everything. So
yeah.
I like that. And the other thing I like about the Lego games is you can take different characters, whether I don't care if it's Indiana Jones or the Star Wars game or the Harry Potter games. As you unlock characters, the more you play, you can take different characters and put them in different scenes and movies that they
Yes.
weren't there in the real movies, right? So
Yeah.
you could technically put Rey all the way back in like Phantom Menace in this series, or have
Mhm.
Luke Skywalker in the pod racing era. Like, so it's really, really cool to see how the game allows you to open that up, or trying to play as Darth Vader being a good guy the whole time. I mean, there's a lot of different
Yeah.
things that you can
And
do,
then
like you said.
sometimes those characters you unlock, you need them to go back into those other levels to be able to complete stuff too.
Complete
So if
stuff,
you're a
yeah.
completionist, you're going to go back in those levels so you can actually swap to the people that you need to be able to finish those episodes as well and complete them. So it's actually really neat how they did all that.
Absolutely. There on Twitch, anyone recommend any
Well,
games that they would introduce?
I know, let's see, Bastel said um realistic driving games with a steering wheel, or sports games for parents who are into sports. That would be a good one as well. Um, my husband over there was Metal Hellsinger.
maybe a little maybe a little munch.
Might be a little much and a little advanced for parents who are not in it. Adzi also said Portal 2. Um, might be a good one. Dragon said that he played Double Dragon with his mom as a kid, but she wasn't really good at it apparently.
Oh wow, that's bad.
So so those were a couple of them, Portal 2 and sports games, anything like that. I mean, I feel like if you can figure out what your parent is into and you want to get them into it, you can more than likely find a game.
Yeah, absolutely.
That could draw their attention, because a lot of times when you're trying when you're trying to get your child to read, what do? You try to find something that they're interested in to get them to read that, because they're interested in it, so they're going to want to learn how to read so they can actually read and see what's going on in whatever it is that they're interested in. So I mean, it's just like with a video game. Find something that your parents can relate to and go from there.
Yeah, I've got two more I want to add here, Kia. Something that got my dad back into video games. He had stopped for a long time, but he's a big puzzle. He loves puzzles. He loves trying to figure things out. And what I love about this is my dad's not going to go out and buy an Xbox, right? He's in his 60s at this point. He's not going to go out there and just go get an Xbox, start playing games. But he plays a lot of dumb mobile games on his iPad. Just, before he goes to sleep, Boom Beach, things like that. He was definitely more into Boom Beach than he ever was like some of the other games that are out there, Candy Crush, nothing like that. So, but he likes the strategy of things. And then this game went from consoles to, it showed up on iPads and tablets. And it's called The Witness. So I really, really like this game because the whole thing is puzzles. Yes, you've got to make this character walk through, but it's very easy to use on the iPad. And then as you see this gameplay go through, this is the very first puzzle you come across. The game kind of teaches you. You just swipe across, okay? You kind of got the concept. As your character goes through a little bit more, so the puzzles go in progression. Now, as you open up into this world, and the world is very, very colorful, very beautiful. As you go through, what I like about it, once they get through this kind of door, they learn that each puzzle is different. And to understand some puzzles, you might need to leave it and go find other puzzles, and you'll learn from other puzzles and be like, oh, that's how they did that. I need to go figure out how that puzzle worked. Have you ever played The Witness, Kia?
No, I haven't, but it looks really cool.
It's really, really cool, especially if you play with a controller. Basically, so on an iPad, you could just use your finger as you're seeing this pointer go through, and as they're trying to get through this maze here. But let me skip forward a little bit. So as they go through, you'll see a little bit more complicated puzzles, right? So there's no maze here. You've got two things, and you're trying to, it is a maze, but you got to find the way. Now, if you look really, really closely, did you understand how they got through that maze?
Were they not supposed to go around or they weren't supposed to touch the rocks?
The rocks. So a lot of times these puzzles use the background of the world to fill in the spots. Yeah. So I think just the concept and opening up your brain and your mind. My dad loved this game, put probably a couple 100 hours into trying to figure this whole thing out. And again, as the puzzles get harder, you might not understand how to beat that puzzle. And the game actually tells you, the game developers will tell you, yes, leave. Go do other puzzles. There's puzzles all over the world. And then come back to it. And you're basically unlocking these series of puzzles, which opens up this island that you're stuck on. And I think the whole concept is to eventually try to escape. And you're this lone wanderer around there. There's no combat. It's super peaceful, super serene. The only thing that isn't peaceful about it is when the parent or player gets so upset and angry that they want to throw their iPad or controller across because you're frustrated that you can't figure out these puzzles.
Understandable.
So, I really, really like this one. Now, the last one, as you'll see here, this is The Last of Us. Now, what I think The Last of Us is important. Now, of course, this is going to be older kids. This is definitely a mature game. But The Last of Us, and again, we can talk about the TV show that just came out on HBO. But it is one of the true cinematic games that I think really shows the storytelling and the scope of how big a game can be. I don't know if I'm assuming you've played through this, Miss PlayStation fan over there.
No, actually, I haven't.
You have never played The Last of Us, and you call yourself
I've never played The Last of Us.
Pony.
I have not watched any of the show. I will not watch any of the show because I don't feel like it. I also am a stay-at-home mom, for those of you who don't know, and I homeschool, so I don't have a lot of, let me just sit down and watch a TV show. Okay, I don't have that time.
But what I think is, yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely, as you can see, listen, if you're listening, it is okay. I mean, look, Kia's a big time gamer. She's trying to stream. She's doing all this stuff, and even her, she admits that she doesn't have all the time to play all the games in the world, and that's okay.
I really wish I did. But Adzi is a huge fan of this game. He himself has played it and plans on getting it when it comes back out, which is has it been released already, or is it
No,
getting
not for
it's getting ready
Steam.
to be
It's getting
re-released, right?
released on PC finally.
Yeah. It's being released
Sometime
on
in March,
PC
I believe.
finally. Yes. And so I know he's a big fan of it. He has told me about it. He's talked about it. He's super excited for it. So I know he's super, super excited for this game. But like I said, I've never played this game. I wish I had all the time in the world to play all the games, but I
Yeah.
don't.
Now, what's great to me, the thing that's the most important about this, about getting your parents involved, is because a lot of parents, they see, they're older, right? So they're like, they think about video games. It's Mario Brothers. It's maybe they hear about
Yeah.
Call of Duty. So it's just people shooting. Every video game is people shooting each other. No, this game is like literally like watching a movie. You could streamline this game if you're a kid or an older kid and you're trying to get your parents involved, or if you're a parent that's listening to this trying to understand, ask your kid, hey, you have a PlayStation. Have you ever played The Last of Us? Maybe I'd be interested in that. Or maybe you want to jump over and watch the TV show with them. This really introduces you to a video game world and understanding that there is a movie or a game or a TV show style that is going on in these games. And it's really, really great. I think it's something that people should give their parents an opportunity to just really understand the game world. And this is a great game to start. You're going to probably cry, have lots of emotions, encourage your parents to play. Or if you're a parent, maybe ask your kid, hey, have you ever played this? I'd love to check it out. And it really just kind of opens up the door to, like I said, understand how much is put into a video game nowadays.
Okay. Adzi was saying that Uncharted would be another great game as well because it's made by the same developers
Absolutely.
for The Last of Us.
Uncharted, if you're unfamiliar, is very much like Sony's kind of take on an Indiana Jones / Tomb Raider style game. Male lead character. I think there's actually 4 games. It's a complete storyline if you played from 1 through 4. I just heard the other day Neil Druckmann said they will not be making any more Uncharted games, that they are done with that series, and they believe it's completely wrapped up and finalized. But again, it's another game that is great story, great characters. Of course, if you're on the Xbox side or PC side of things, maybe you don't have a PlayStation, some comparable games would be the Dragon Age series, or maybe Mass Effect if you're into sci-fi. Those are great games to get parents involved, where it's got that movie style feel and those story elements. I know Kia is always playing. That's another thing, is you can always just check out Kia's stream as she does story nights where she plays through these games, and it's kind of a sit back, grab your popcorn, and just kind of follow along.
Yep, pretty much. I like to read the lore as well, so I go back and I read lore. So it's not one of those like I just play through the game and just let you guys see things or whatever, or hope you read whatever. I actually go back into the lore and I actually read on the lore and tell you about it. So yeah, I actually read it. I don't just sit there and go, "Oh yeah, that's that." Okay, we're moving along. Like I'll actually sit there and read it. Which actually is the reason why Dragon Age took me so long, because there's such an immense amount of lore inside the game that you find that you can go back and read. As he was also saying that Portal 2 is a co-op game, so
Correct,
that's definitely something that you can play with your kid, or your kid can play with the parent. Like that's something they can get into. It's a puzzle game as well. So if you have a parent that's big on puzzle games, there are a ton of puzzle games out there. I, for one, love puzzles. I know like there's a lot of puzzles in Dragon Age that you got to figure out to be able to do a certain get like release somebody or whatever it is. Like there's tons of puzzles in that game. And I love them. And I've played through the Dragon Age series multiple times, and there have been times where my husband has watched me do something, and he's like, how do you even remember how to do that? Like, how do you? Because I'll get it on the first try.
Yeah.
And he's just like, how do you remember that? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, muscle memory for you at this point.
It's just is one of those things. Now there are some that still stump me on occasion, and I have to sit there and think about it. But I do like puzzle games myself, so yeah, there's plenty of them out there.
All right, everyone. Kia, Adzi, and chat, and anyone else that was joining in there, we really appreciate your feedback. Don't forget, every once a month on Sundays, and we'll put out the schedule. You'll see that if you're listening now or watching on YouTube. You should be able to look at our schedule. Just check out our Facebook page or our Twitter and Instagram. We're going to have schedules posted there on when we do the live recordings. We record once a month for 4 episodes for the month. So thank you guys so very much. Don't forget to check out Kia on Twitch and subscribe, all those fun things for Parents First Gaming, whether it's audio or YouTube. It really, really does help our growth and help us expand on what we want to do here. So thank you guys very, very much, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.